I think we are witnessing kind of a high wire, almost flying Walenda like balancing act that OPEC Plus is trying to execute here. When they had to initially curtail the 9.77 million a day, oil markets prices were in free fall. They had to restore that, and maybe they slightly overcorrected. But they've gone within the space of a couple of months, imposing these fairly rigid production cuts, insisting that countries like Iraq, Nigeria, Kazakhstan, Angola, who've overproduced in the past, even compensate for that overproduction. And now they've restored the balance. Prices have recovered, but they have to be very careful because they don't want to be the victim of their own success. If prices were to zoom past $45 a barrel, $50 a barrel on the back of these cuts, that may be waving the red cape in front of the U.S. independents, the producers. This may be a signal to start building back production. So, Matt and Dan, the way I see it is this is a very delicate, fragile balancing act. And there's this cloud of uncertainty overhanging all of it on the pace of the recovery, and if there's going to be recovery, how long, how fast, are we going to come back? What percentage of what we had pre-COVID pandemic are we going to see? Is it going to be an 80% or 90% economy? So we're kind of flying blind, but trying to find this magical mean to use to keep the U.S. production at bay and to also support prices.
Where do you think the demand recovery will come from, John?
Dan, that is actually very difficult. It's hard for me to even imagine going into an airport, boarding a flight. I mean, when you look at the whole commercial aviation sector, just in effect, just dying. Flights are slowly being restored, but with the paramount concerns, safety, social distancing, and all that. Plus, here we are heading into the peak holiday period. We're already seeing travel plans getting scrapped. So, Dan, it's hard for me to imagine anything approaching a rosy scenario on demand recovery when you look at those blighted sectors like commercial aviation, even in transportation generally. We're not seeing the kind of traffic jams. I mean, I can only speak being here in Singapore, but what you pick up in major urban centers is we expected to see is the social distancing was lifted, more people would shun public transport. They would start driving their cars. So we'd be back to traffic jams, and that hasn't materialized. So I'm very skeptical on the demand. I see it happening very gradually and subject to a lot of factors like whether there's going to be a vaccine, how serious the second wave of potential infections is. And that's what we're coping with now as we see, new crackdowns or lockdowns in places like the Philippines, in Melbourne, other locations in the U.S. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. It makes any kind of precision in forecasting very difficult.